Recently, I was out at the break of dawn, and in the safety of my own car, I saw a coyote, and to my left, I saw a gentleman that was walking his dog. I looked to the coyote, I looked to the dog, I looked to the coyote, back again. The coyote just walked off and went on its merry little way. But at that brief moment, I was thinking, what would he do if this coyote turned around and attacked his dog, or even attacked him? The chances are not, but still, it could happen. And so it got me to thinking, what would we do if we were faced with a wild animal? How would we protect ourselves? And what would we do if we were attacked? That's what I want to talk to you about today, coming up. Hi, I'm Olivia and you are watching Health Before Travel, the channel that helps you to stop and think about your health and safety before your next trip. If this is your first time visiting our channel, please consider subscribing because I am here every single week bringing you different tips and news on traveling so that next time that you plan your trip, you will be just that much more informed. So what would you do if you were faced with a wild animal, and how would you protect yourself? Well, the first things and the first rule of thumb that you want to put in place is never feed the wildlife. I know that some of them are so cute, but if we start feeding them, we're doing harm to them and also to us potentially. Why? Because the minute we start feeding them, they start associating humans with food, and they can become aggressive if you don't end up feeding them. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is don't go near any wild animals that have their babies. Ah, yes, they are cute. And who can resist that little baby? And when the mom is hugging the baby and she's just so protective, it's in us to want to get that special picture. Yes, we want to do that, but wild animals tend to be extremely protective of their babies, and they will attack if they feel that they are being threatened in any way, shape, or form. So please do not go near any wild animals that is protecting their babies. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure you do is if you are hiking, and this is probably the highest chance that you can come across any of these wild animals. So you're hiking, you're camping, you're in their habitat. So you're more likely to see them. So therefore, you want to be in a group. As a group, they're more likely to stay away because they see that as a threat. So the more of you that there are, the better. Also, because if one of you is isolated and attacked, at least the other person can go out there and seek help, if not help to fend off. So there's reasons why you'd want to not to hike by yourself. If, however, you are in a position where you are attacked or threatened attacked, you've come across a bear, a coyote, a wolf, here are some major tips that you are going to want to commit to memory. First and foremost, do not run. Our instinct is to run because we're scared. When you run, they actually see you as prey. And so therefore they will run. And most of these animals can outrun you. You cannot outrun a bear. You cannot outrun a coyote. They run at about 40 miles per hour. There you go. You can't do it, so don't try it. Do not run. Do not turn your back on them. Again, once your back is turned, your defenses are down, and they see this as a great opportunity to just pounce. So always face them. Do not make eye contact though. They see this as an aggressive behavior in us. And so that actually just triggers in them, again, that attacked instinct that they have. So do not make eye contact. Speak in a low, calm voice. So in essence, when you're backing away, just walking very slowly, very deliberately, and just saying anything in a low, calm voice, whatever it takes to just calm you. If it happens to be a nursery rhyme or just talking to the animal, whatever it takes for you to just feel at ease, just do that. Another thing, and of course goes along with the whole backing away, being very calm, is just do not panic. Of course, this is when you make the most amount of mistakes. This is when you start thinking irrationally. So try your hardest not to panic. When you do go on hikes and there is known bear country or wild animals, carry pepper spray, carry bear spray with you. And again, if it comes across any of these animals, again, do not panic, because you could end up just spraying yourself. One of the things I just mentioned is that you should not run, except in one situation. Here's the situation where you want to run, and that is if you are attacked by a swarm of bees. If you are attacked by a swarm of bees, your best bet is to run. Run as far as you possibly can. Most bees will give up very quickly. Do not jump into water. Bees will swarm the water, and as you come up for air, they will swarm your head. So don't jump into water. That is not your best line of defense. One of the things that you can do, and if you are near to bushes and trees and that, run in and out of those. That hopefully will confuse them and distract them. So this is a way to get away from them. And then, of course, when you are out of danger's way and you have been stung, get yourself to the nearest emergency clinic as quickly as possible. And if you can, try and take out the stingers if you can do that as well. Another animal, reptile, that you could come across would be a snake. And especially if you're out hiking and you come across a venomous snake, what would you do? The best thing that you can do is don't panic. Again, we come back to that. And also stay as still as possible. When you start moving around and flailing, your heart rate goes up. Your heart rate goes up, the blood flow goes quicker, and that way the venom can get into your bloodstream and move to the heart and your other vital organs so much quicker. So you want to stay as still as possible. You want to take off any restrictive or constrictive clothing that you have, any rings, bracelets, anything that, because once the swelling starts, you want to make sure that there's nothing restricting. Also, keep that site below the heart. And of course, get to a medical facility as quickly as possible so that you can get the anti-venom serum as quickly as possible. One of the deadliest creatures that we have here on the planet right now is the mosquito. The mosquito has caused the highest amount of deaths in humans across any of the other animal kingdoms out there. It is responsible for millions of deaths from yellow fever, malaria, and dengue fever, as well as it has also causes major diseases with chikungunya, the newest one being Zika, and also the West Nile virus as well. So the mosquito, as small as it is one of the most deadliest creatures out there. So your best protection for that is, when going into those known areas where they are carrying yellow fever, malaria, dengue fever, these particular diseases, there are precautions that you can take so that it reduces your chances of mortality. And of course, insect repellent. Well, that goes without saying that, insect repellent, whenever you go into any of these wooded areas, when you're traveling to any of these places that have these mosquito infested places. Wow, it seems so easy, doesn't it? It just seems so systematic. If you just do this, this, and this, you'll be just fine. Unfortunately, when we are in those situations, we tend to panic and we tend to run and we tend to do everything that is wrong. And hopefully today I have brought a little bit of information to you so that if you ever have any of these encounters, you can draw from this and remember, do not run, do not panic, and always back away slowly, unless it's a swarm of bees, and then you're gonna run like hell. Okay, hopefully today I was able to bring you some insight into what you should do when you are planning your next trip, and also how to protect yourself if necessary. Hopefully everything I said will never be needed. But if you are, then you will be that much more prepared. And that's what I'm hoping for here, because I'm always thinking about your health and your safety before you take that trip, and also during as well. It's been my pleasure. I hope to see you again next week. Don't forget, consider subscribing and leave any comments that you have about today's program today down in the section below. I really look forward to hearing from you, and have yourselves a great week. Take care. Bye.
If you don't get that needle and vaccinate yourself against some of those diseases out there, when you are traveling to some of these high-risk areas, that's exactly what can happen.